In the Mooney Valley Gold Cup, we see the return of Just Fine to the races after a brilliant win in the Bart Cummings. That secured his place in the Melbourne Cup, and the Mooney Valley Gold Cup looks to be an ideal lead-up for him. I think he's continued to train on nicely. He's taken plenty of confidence from that last start win and looks to be in tremendous form. Serpentine, equally, I thought it was an excellent performance first up from him. The form around that race has been particularly strong. He stuck on very well. Second up in the Metropolitan, he had a tougher run in Transit, and I think that showed in the overall results. He may not quite have been as seasoned for that run there, second up that he had, but I think third up here he can show some nice improvement, particularly from a much kinder draw. Ikasara had a good look around Mooney Valley on Tuesday morning. I thought he worked up quite sharply and therefore looks to be a nice chance in the Red Anchor Stakes. It's a 1,200 metre race for the 3-year-olds. He's coming off an excellent run there last start. He did plenty of work in the early stages in the race, but I thought he stuck on very well considering against some well-performed horses. So he'll appreciate the step back in grade here, and he looks to be very well placed. It's certainly going to be an exciting edition of this year's Cox Plate. We have Raw Patronage representing the stable. He's been very consistent this preparation. I thought it was a very honest effort from him in the Hill Stakes. He stuck on very well at his first attempt over that distance this campaign. I think that sets him up nicely for a strong run here in the Cox Plate, which he's going to need. Likely to be a nice strong tempo, but he's drawn to get the advantage with a nice run to give ourselves options. The form around him's been particularly strong. As I said, he's been very consistent every time that he stepped out here, so expecting another solid performance from him once again. I think Osmose can show improvement off what was seen from in her first 2 runs this preparation. Importantly, she's stepping out in distance, which is what she needs at this point of the campaign. And the addition of the blinkers will just help her through the early stages of the race. I think her work is better than what we've seen at the races so far. So as I said, I'm expecting a much improved performance under better conditions. In the Caloundra Presnell, Anode will be looking to go back-to-back after an excellent win in the Tap Craig there last start. Stepping out to the mile for the first time this preparation. He has been tested over this distance in the Champagne Stakes as a 2-year-old. I think he'll be able to run it out strongly. He looks to be in good order and a deserving favourite in the race. Prost is stepping out to the distance for the first time this campaign also. He's yet to race over this trip, but he has given the indication that he'll appreciate racing over the mile. The 2 runs this campaign have been a little bit short of his best, so no doubt looking for some improvement here, but he does find himself in a race where he looks much better placed. Converge and New Endeavour will take their place in the Craven Plate over the 1,800 metres. New Endeavour's been building nicely towards this particular race. I think he looks well placed here. Is ready to put in a peak performance this campaign when racing 4th up. He's been very honest, been very pleased with his first 3 runs this time in, and no doubt there's still further improvement there. Converge was run off his feet over the 1,400 metres first up. He does step sharply up in trips second up here, but I think the tempo of this race will be much kinder. It'll help him out through the early and mid stages of the race. If he can get the right run, he certainly can be sharp and effective. Townsend's racing first up in the mile handicap. He's an interesting horse that's shown great form at 2. He's yet to recapture that, but he has been lightly raced since. Gets down on a nice light weight of the 52 kilos here. This will give us a really good indication of where he's at this preparation, but I do think he'll return in good order, but I think he'll appreciate getting out further later this campaign. His trials have been honest. His latest trial was certainly a nice sharp trial from him, so certainly a big watch on the weekend for us. Stepping out for the first time in the 2-year-old Kirken Plate, we have the Little General and Chikama, both horses coming out of the same trial a little over 2 weeks ago. The Little General looked nice and sharp. He put himself up on speed in that heat, so expect to see him do and adopt similar tactics in this particular race. I thought he stuck on very well and has shown nice improvement since that trial. Chikama equally impressive in that same heat. He raced in behind the speed, but his closing sectionals were very good and very sharp. He's one that, with a tricky draw, I'd expect he'll appreciate a high-pressure race and will be very strong late. In the Sale Cup, we see Coin Toss return to the races, second up this preparation. He'll appreciate getting out to the mile on this occasion. He's just out sprinted first up, but he did put himself up on speed and stuck on well over an unsuitable distance. So expecting to see some nice improvement here stepping up to the mile.